Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Woo! Oh, man. Another one of these. Unreal.
11 and 0.
11 and 0. Welcome to the Block the Shot to Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast brought to you by our wonderful friends over at the Blue Wire Podcast Network. I am Tim Daniel. He is Skylar Whipker. And we are chatting about the 11 and 0 Cleveland Cavaliers who put on an insane comeback. An insane comeback to have the abysmal third quarter and then turn around the fourth and just take over the game. And I mean, with 2 minutes left, they're down 7 and pull off this 105-100 win. Man, just maybe my favorite one of the year.
That was, I firmly thought that you and I were going to come on here tonight doing the first loss of the season.
Yeah.
That third quarter, they couldn't buy a bucket. They couldn't stop a bucket. The refs weren't helping. It just felt like this was it.
Yeah, it did.
And
man.
That fourth quarter came out. Man, TJ Maxx.
Maxx. It's a thing.
Oh, we're going to make it a thing.
Yep.
He absolutely put the energy into this team in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, man. He absolutely did. I mean, they've really responded to him very well. Just the things that you get from him in those circumstances is so unbelievable. And you're really seeing how much the Cavs missed having that last year. And don't get me wrong, obviously they were still pretty good, but what he's been doing for this team and nights like tonight where they just respond so well to him when he comes in the game, just so freaking perfect, man. I mean, he did so much tonight and it was great. And yeah, he was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, to come into a game and play 18 minutes, take 4 shots, we're gonna be 2 of 4, but have a plus 16.
Right.
I mean, that is getting the most positive effect on the game that you can with your limited amount of time. Just so impressed with the game.
Man, just so awesome. I love this team, man. I mean, just so freaking fun to watch on a nightly basis. And like we said last night, yes, eventually they're going to lose a game, but I don't know when. And it feels like every day we think that. And every night we come on here and we're like, all right, we're still rolling, baby. This is still fun. Like,
yeah,
you absolutely take it.
You've said it a couple of times. What a time to start this podcast, or what a year to start this.
Yeah, it's looking better and better every night. So I think this was like a really, really fun matchup in the sense that both teams were playing on a back-to-back. For Brooklyn, man, you listen to the top 2 teams in the East, back-to-back nights in the fourth quarter or in overtime, where you played pretty well. I mean, you really had a chance to win both games. I'm sure that's kind of a bummer, but I thought that on the Cleveland side of things, I talked about this yesterday during last night's game where Mitchell kind of made the comment about they've won every way they possibly can so far this year. And tonight was another one. I mean, for how rough the third quarter was and for them to respond the way they did in the fourth was unbelievable. I mean, just fantastic basketball. And it's another notch in this team to just show that you have to kick them while they're down. You cannot give them any sliver of hope because they will find a way to get back in it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think this was a new way of winning because I think this is the first time all year that we've seen an all small ball lineup without Mobley or Allen. And especially in that fourth quarter down the stretch to kind of go with those guys to get the ignition going. God, it was so awesome. Such an awesome win.
Yeah, such an awesome one. All right, so let's go through some individual performances real quick as we kind of talk about this one. So I want to go ahead and make a shout out. Let's go a little different here as we do this. And Kevin just texted this, and obviously this is Kevin's off night, but let's talk about Kenny Atkinson tonight. You said it. Stuck with that lineup through thick and thin there down the stretch and trusted them to go win him the game against a team that let him go. And he was tremendous. He pulled all the right moves, all the right execution. He lost both of his challenges in the first half. And he managed to kind of keep the game in hand. And when things went bad in the third quarter, got his team going. Obviously, another notch on the Coach of the Year conversation, which right now I have to say he's probably the favorite for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty likely. But dude, just another fantastic way of coaching performance by Kenny Atkinson, and I'm sure this one felt very good compared to others.
Oh, no doubt. To just absolutely pull this win out from the mouth of the lion of defeat. Didn't get frustrated, didn't start barking at officials. Just kind of sat with his guys and said, we're going to be ourselves. We're going to play Cavaliers basketball. Just cranked it out. We went with like I said, the first small ball lineup we've seen all year. Evan Mobley had a great night, but Jared Allen was a tick off offensively. So to rely on these guards and kind of small forwards, that was just I can't stop saying it. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. You buried the lead though. The next conversation was gonna be about Mobley.
There you go. We'll bring it back up.
Yeah. So I didn't place it in time. But my bet tonight was gonna bring back the one I did opening night, and that was Mobley points and rebounds over. And had I posted it, he would have hit. I did bet it in my personal docket, so I did get that. But Evan Mobley tonight in 35 minutes, 23 points, 16 rebounds, 4 steals, 10 of 11 from the floor, and hit his 1 3-point opportunity. And it's time for our nightly Evan Mobley appreciation portion of the show, because all those things sound great offensively, but made the play of the game. I mean,
oh yeah, that block at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those stats plus a block plus only 1 personal foul all night.
Yeah, that's amazing. 35 minutes.
That's incredible. That never happens. Yeah, man. I it's hard to just keep coming on here every night and being like, these guys are amazing. These guys are awesome. But I'm happy to do it. But
yeah, we are for sure. Just the way that he kind of, I think for him, the thing we've kind of seen majority of the year is that he's had really good games from Jared as well that he could rely on. And tonight wasn't Jared's night. It really, and the box score shows that very well. And for him to kind of be like, hey man, don't worry. I got this. We're cool. We're good. Was just so awesome. And just the way that he kind of just dictated the game defensively and brought his own on offense. Such a freaking awesome performance, man. Evan Mobley, this continued growth that we've talked about through all 11 games. And just to have a night like tonight where he really kind of, yes, Ty Jerome for sure brought the energy and deserves the recognition that we're giving. But Evan Mobley was the best player of the floor tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And I know you, Kevin, touched on it last night about kind of how they're going to match up with Claxton, because Claxton is exactly what Allen and Mobley are. Not the girthiest person, but a young, lengthy, athletic center. So, and Claxton, to his credit, he got his own tonight. 10 rebounds. What was he on points? I just felt like he just was eating glass. 10 points, 10 rebounds, with 4 assists. So he definitely held his own tonight. And that's impressive to do against both Mobley and Allen pretty much all night. So credit to this young, scrappy Brooklyn Nets team, man.
I like this Nets team. I do.
They kind of feel like the island of misfit toys.
They really are the island of misfit toys.
Like
that is a great way to put it.
All of these bad contracts and stuff, and these guys are and by bad contracts I really mean the Ben Simmons one, but and they have a war chest of assets from the Kevin Durant and Bridges acquisition or departures, I should say.
Boy, oh boy, man,
they're gonna be a good team, man.
They are gonna be a good team. Yeah, they are gonna be. I agree, man. I really do. So yeah, on Mobley, and then we can just do the backcourt together. Mitchell, Garland. Yeah. Mitchell, after last night where he didn't shoot the ball very well at all, was great from three tonight. With going 4 of 6, and was 8 of 8 from the line. And then Garland, with 20 points of his own, another 5+ assists game, and another 40% game from the 3-point line. Those two kind of pushing the pace, and they're going against, you mentioned what Clax was able to do tonight. It was awesome. I mean, Cam Thompson and Dennis Schroeder were also pretty good tonight. And
very good.
Yeah, those guys went, excuse me, I got something stuck in my throat, went neck and neck with them.
Good.
And I'm not crying. I just had a cough that I'm trying to push back down. The fact that they were able to kind of go neck and neck with those guys and really kind of take over when it was needed the most. Obviously, they're the two better players, but no, Cam Thomas has been unbelievable this year. Was really, 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 really shocking. What up, Sid? I was wondering when she was going to pop up today.
Oh, yeah. She's coming in here. Same energy. We're all fired up about this comeback.
Love it. Do you think people aren't listening to us because they're like, yeah, they're just so happy every night?
Hey, we can bring a little happiness to everyone. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we do.
Not at all. I'm just joking. Man. Yeah. But those two guys, Garland again, fantastic, man. Just what he's freaking doing on a nightly basis. And Mitchell just kind of, Kevin and I talked about it last night. The fact that Donovan Mitchell is, when qualifying, basically penciled in for All NBA, and they don't need him to have big nights every night is just unbelievable, man. It's the fact that they're so consistently balanced, they're so steady, and no matter what, yes, Cindy, I do think Garland has the chance for All NBA so far. I for sure think he's an all-star right now. I think all 4 of those guys are all-stars. No, Allen wasn't good tonight. But right now, if you're passing a ballot on performance, which I know how the all-star games go, all 4 of those guys, I wouldn't say all 4 are starters, but I would say all 4 are in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the best we've seen Garland since his all-star year.
Yeah, for sure. Probably better, realistically.
Realistically, yeah, because I think he's got more facets to his game since that all-star year.
Yeah.
Ty Jerome for an all-star too.
TJ Maxx is the name. Don't forget it. Do you like it says no, do you like the Frobley name?
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know. I think maybe right when they got Mobley, but I like that. I also like Tower City because that's the
mall
building that's attached, or it has the mall that has the bridge over.
I'm aware because I made the wrong turn leaving the arena last week and ended up inside the Tower City Mall.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I have heard about Applejack's Toys for years. I finally know where it's at in Cleveland. So
yeah, dude. So I America's team, probably Twin City or Twin Towers or Twin City, Tower City, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
TJ Maxx.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun ones. We could just get shirts to just have them all. Kevin and I were talking about that. We might just make t-shirts. For Ohio. Yeah. That's a good one as well. But man, just another awesome night from those two guys and what they're able to put together. First time Isaac Okoro really kind of had a game where he wasn't his best. Was a -20 and didn't shoot very well. Didn't shoot well at all, I should say. But what they were able to get from Karras and from Sam and George, I mean, really, and you obviously mentioned TJ Maxx. One with a little bit of a shorter bench tonight, but obviously with the G League starting up, which we'll get into the charge here in a minute. But the fact that they were able to kind of just get all of that with Okoro and Allen not playing very well, having the shortest bench of the season so far. Super, super impressive.
Absolutely. I kind of want to get to a question that I have. I had it.
No.
So I listened to last night's episode on my drive home today. I think Sydney actually asked it about like, are we going to win a chip this year? Let's live in fantasy land. Let's say they do win a chip this year. Does this team become a dynasty? Because this is the team for the next at least 3 to 4 years.
Man, Skylar is full on ready for June already. I like it. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, piggybacking off that, I think it's definitely a possibility because I thought that there also reiterates something I said last night. The way Steve Kerr talked about this Cavs team compared to when he first took over the Warriors was really impressive. And then Draymond Green last night talked about the Warriors play extremely the Cavs play extremely similar offense to what the Warriors do. And that's not just shooting threes. It's the pace and space. It's the movement. It's the drive and dish, and the everything else. Very similar offensive playbook. And so I thought that was kind of really shocking. And Golden State killed you so much because they had, 3-4 options. They didn't have the big options the Cavs do, obviously. But, against Durant, obviously, for obvious reasons, for a couple of years there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, could I see this team winning multiple titles in fantasy land as Skylar?
Fantasy land. That's where we are right now. Fantasy land.
How can we not be? How can we not be with how things are going?
This feels like how dynasties are born.
It does. I think that is actually your best point. This is what happens. This is so the Cavs are really picking up, or the Nuggets were falling apart in their chase for a dynasty right now.
Yes.
And I think, and that's obviously really funny to say, but I really, really, really think that it's certainly a possibility if everything goes as planned and they're healthy with the way this coaching staff's working, with how the contracts are spaced out for all 4 of those guys. Yeah, why not think they could do it?
Exactly. Like I said, Fantasyland, like they win the chip this year. This is the team for the next 3 to 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, anyone can win an NBA championship, Skylar, but could they win the NBA Cup is the real question.
Ooh, so we'll start that next week.
I know. Friday against the Bulls, which we got a Monday game against the Bulls as well. We'll get to here in a minute. Yeah. So this has been awesome. Another awesome night. An epic comeback where I thought in the third quarter they were done. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. 10-1, you'll take it. But 11-0
feels awesome.
Yeah, I love this team so much, man. Kenny Atkinson, the dude. Just never, Kenny, just go down. You can go to any bar in Cleveland. You're gonna eat for free. You're gonna dine like a king.
Absolutely.
Specifically, maybe Mabel's there right across from the arena. Very good barbecue. Very good barbecue. I was just there in it last week, so I want to get back so bad. Sydney says, "How about 12-0?" Yeah, it's I don't know. Is there anything else you want to touch on about this game, since we have a couple more things we need to get to?
I really don't have much about this game. Great, drag them out, like pull out from defeat, win. But let's get to the Charge because they had their opening night tonight.
They did. So they're not only the only undefeated team in the Cleveland Cavaliers organization. The Cleveland Charge opened the G League play today against the Indiana Mad Ants in the weirdest schedule I've ever seen. So the Charge play the Mad Ants the first 2 games of the G League season, Skylar, and don't play them again the rest of the year. And they're 2 of the closest affiliates to each other distance-wise. Yeah, really weird. But they start out with a 120-83 victory over the Mad Ants. Luke Travers was doing everything for this team. Our boy, Luke Travers, killing it. But just had an awesome night for them. Let me get the box score up real quick while we're talking about that. But JT Thor had his contributions. A really nice start for them. And obviously, like I said, for those who don't pay attention to G League basketball, I am telling you, it is awesome. And it's something where the basketball is really good. It's not like, A ball baseball by any means. It's very good basketball. And those two dudes today, those dudes today did the damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, Luke Travers with 24 points, 71% field goal percentage, and 10 rebounds. I mean, he was doing everything you would expect out of Luke Travers.
He was. Can I go through a couple guys? So
yeah, go ahead.
Pete Nance, 6 of 11 from the floor, plus 22 overall. Had a really good game. It'd be really cool if he could just get his brother to come back to town and play for the Cavs. That'd be nice.
We talk about this all the time.
I know. I would love it. Jules Bernard tonight, 6 of 14, was really good. Elijah Hughes off the bench, big time, 5 of 10 from 3. Just kind of handled it. And this Indiana Madness team has players. I mean, Jahlil Okafor has always been in the league for a very long time. Josiah Jordan-James is a guy I'm a huge fan of. I've liked this game for years. Enrique Freeman, shout out the Akron star.
Yeah,
he didn't play, but he's on the team. And then so Jacob Gilliard today as well. 4 of 8, 2 of 3 from 3, was a +8. Rebound, had 4 boards, had an assist, had a steal, but did give up 5 turnovers, but that's okay. I'm really happy the Cavs were able to keep him within the organization after the preseason and training camp, and he wasn't claimed by another team. Because I think if he can stick in the Atkinson system that the Cavs are passing down to the G League staff, that I think he has a chance to be a pretty good player for this team.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 2 games ago. They had the pregame for the Cavs, and they talked with the head coach for the Charge, and they're all on the same page. They want to do the Atkinson way.
Yep.
Like the Atkins diet.
Atkinson diet.
Yeah, the Atkinson diet of, they want to play with pace. They want to make the open pass to the open man, which is really awesome to hear that they're trying to get guys ready to play for Atkinson.
Yeah. So very awesome for them. They also will be playing tomorrow with, like I said, against the Mad Ants again. So wanted to give our kudos there. You can watch those games that's going to be on NBA TV, that game. So
nice.
2:00. Our NFL team does not play tomorrow, so we could, maybe throw it on TV for a little bit.
That'd be awesome.
We probably won't be doing Charge. I don't know if they win the G League Showcase. I for sure will do a podcast on it. But for the sake of our lives and our wives and children, maybe should not be.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, that should be something else we should dive into. But yeah, great day in Cleveland basketball all around. So looking ahead now for Monday, it's the matchup against. Well, first it's Veterans Day, so thank you for all those who serve and have served in the past. So we definitely appreciate you. But they head to the Old United Center to take on the 4-6 Chicago Bulls, who got a win tonight against the Atlanta Hawks on the road, 125-113. And this is a Bulls team that we talked about quite a bit during the preseason, obviously, because they had multiple matchups. But it's a Bulls team that is better than they want to be. It's a Bulls team that really needs to figure out how to not be better than they are currently for their sake. And they're pretty balanced. Their starting five's really good. Zach LaVine has been really, really good so far this year.
Bounce back year from him.
Yeah, for sure. Kobe White carrying it back what he did last year. Josh Giddey is just kind of an all-around stat stuffer. Never going to be a really consistent shooter. And Vooch, super underrated player, honestly. Again, the Bulls are way too good for where they want to be, which is on brand for the Bulls, just being so stupid of a front office and an idiot organization. Ayo Dosunmu is awesome, and they're like, he's going to go win us games. And you're like, no, that's their problem. So
it makes me laugh so much how strongly you feel about this Bulls front office.
God, they're the dumbest team. They're so stupid. It's literally, here's my thing. okay, I shouldn't say that because I want to be respectful to everyone, but this is a team that's like, we should probably tank. We should go get Cooper, try to get in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, and we should be trying to rebuild our roster. But they're like, no, dude, we want that 10 spot. We want the play in. Yeah, the end of the lottery. That's what we want. And you're like, why? Why? They kept Lonzo. I understand Lonzo's hurt right now, but that for sure was something where they could have gotten out of that money, $22 million.
Yeah.
They not found a trade partner for Levine because they gave him that contract, which, look, I have a million times said on record. There's many times you can hear me say, like, the treatment that we have of Zach Levine is very disrespectful to a guy who hasn't had a chance to prove he could be on a winning team. And that's where I'll keep that. This is a calf show. But I do think that this is a game where the Bulls are pretty well known for finding ways to end streaks. And they've been doing that for quite a while now. So this is a game where Cleveland's going to have to play really hard, where I thought when we were looking at the schedule, I thought, man, they'll probably go into the United Center and win because the Bulls are not very good. And this is a Bulls team that for some reason wants to win basketball games because they're so ridiculous.
My God. No, it'll be a good matchup. We've seen the Bulls already this year, which helps. But I don't think a single team in the NBA has had a gauntlet of a schedule like the Cavs have. Mm-hmm. I mean, our first 3 weeks have been back-to-back on Friday, Saturdays, going against the upper echelon of teams so far in the league. I mean, we haven't had the Celtics yet, but they're coming later in the week. So, yeah, I think it's going to be you can kind of tell tonight guys are getting tired.
Yeah.
So nice to have the off day tomorrow before heading out to the United Center. So these guys are going to have a challenge just because the pace that the Bulls like to play with.
Yeah. Sydney asks, so Friday's game is actually the home game. Monday's game's at the United Center. Friday is the first NBA Cup game, Cavs and the Bulls. So they'll see them twice this week. Oh boy, how exciting. But so to kind of get an idea, so the Bulls are still number 1 in the league in pace. They're still the fastest team in every night because they're dumb. They're so dumb. Okay, I need to stop that.
We're never going to collaborate with a Bulls podcast.
Bulls podcasts are saying the same thing I am. Trust me on that. But just it's unbelievable franchise. So like the backcourt matchup is going to be really fun. Garland and Kobe White are guys who are often linked to each other because they were in the same draft class.
Yeah.
They're guys who have kind of come up and had very similar trajectories. I think Garland kind of hit his stride, obviously, a little before Kobe did. But Kobe, you can really make the case, it should be the best player on the Bulls, but they still have Levine. And I like watching those two play against each other because they have a lot of very similar skill sets. Mitchell and Levine, just kind of snipers. Mitchell's obviously the better player of those two. And then things get really fun from there. The Evan Mobley, Pat Williams circumstance is going to be great. That's going to be fun. Jarrett and Vooch is the matchup of this game. And I know I talk about this quite a bit. But other than, I think for me, the two matchups you got to look for are Jarrett and Vooch, because what Vooch likes to do really well, Jarrett is really good at defending. And then on the other end, I think Garland and Kobe, two really fast guys who can shoot from like all three levels and have become so improved as playmakers. It's going to be a really fun game.
Yeah, I think if I had to put it out, I would say Garland's probably the better playmaker, but Colby is the better shooter, or at least true shooter, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, I think the Vooch and Allen is going to be a battle all night. And you know, it might be a game where we say, Donovan, go get us the winning bucket, winning drive. We haven't had too many of those this year, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and then the Bulls also have a couple bench players who are pretty solid. So that's going to make it interesting as well to see how that lines up. They're not as deep as the Cavs, but Don Sunmu, Jalen Smith, and Julian Phillips is known to kind of get a little freaky and pull some things out and makes up some nice games. And he had one tonight.
What a term.
Yeah. Yeah, need to watch my language on that one, I guess. But they got some good dudes. I don't know. Dalen Terry, I can never figure out if he's good or not. There's nights where I'm like, oh yeah, Dalen Terry, he's a really good bench piece. There's nights I'm like, why is that guy on the floor? So I hope we get that version against Cleveland on Monday.
I feel like I felt the same way about Karis LeVert prior to this year, where
really?
I'm like, yeah, where there were some nights where like he was great and it was like, yeah, this is awesome. I keep referring, there was a back-to-back games where he did 40 at Boston in the Garden, and then Boston the next game came to Cleveland and he put up 1.
They made adjustments. It happens.
But he's been dramatically improved this year. Obviously, he's been way more consistent. I don't need him to get 40, but if you can give me 12, 15, 16, he's been doing that, and he's been great.
Funny enough, I've always been a huge Karis LeVert fan, even in Brooklyn.
Yeah?
I have. Even at Michigan. That Michigan team
Michigan.
The Michigan team that lost in the title game to Louisville.
Yeah.
I thought was awesome. Him, Trey Burke, that team was sick. So when Cleveland traded for him, I talked about this. Grace's family, they know about the Cavs, but they're not like league-wide fans. So Grace's uncle was like, what do you think about Karis LeVert? I was like, you're going to love this dude. He's going to win you some games. He's going to lose you some games. But who he is perfect for what the Cavs need. And I think that's rang true now for 3 years.
Yeah, I think this is the best version of Karis LeVert that we've had. And I'm all in on Karis LeVert. I'm eating the what is it? Not eating the ice cream. You
drinking the Kool-Aid?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. That's what it is.
Yeah. I hope you're not eating Kool-Aid. That could be dangerous.
No. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid with half a bag of sugar.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it for sure. All right, man. Well, any final thoughts before we get this one done?
12-0 sounds so good.
Yeah, it does.
82-0 pace, man.
Even if it does means I have to go against my former ally, my former team, the team that made me love basketball. I still gotta rep where the money's at. So.
I mean, you just sat here and talked about how terrible of a franchise they are.
And I don't regret a word of it. There's a reason that when it was like I went to the queue multiple times, and every time I was there, I just fell in love with it more and more, that I was like, yeah, it's easy to become a Cavs fan.
There were some that Ben, you got to be through thick and thin. I shared a post on with you guys that like, how loyal are you? And it's like, I was here when it was John Henson, Brandon I forget, Dante Exum, like that loyal.
Yeah, I could do a whole show one day just about how they did. They had the most underrated rebuild of the last time the LeBron left, where they were bad. They were bad. They were supposed to be bad. But the way they constructed the roster to make all the moves they made was so well done and so impressive. And like I could really do a deep dive into that one time, but we don't have time for that tonight. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and wrap this episode up. Thank you guys as always for continuing to support success here. What fun we're having with this team. We're really starting to see you guys really get behind the show too, and that's been really cool. Like I said, this is a huge passion project that we are just having a great time with. Shout out to Blue Wire staff, officially putting us on the site finally.
Yeah.
So that's been nice to see when you go to the Look at Basketball podcast that we're on there. Skylar and I are back here Monday. I really hope we're talking about 12-0. I think we will be talking 12-0. Brandon Knight. I met Brandon Knight a couple times. I'll tell that story sometime. But on behalf of Skylar Webker, this is Tim Daniel. On behalf of Kevin Lynch also. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you on Monday. Enjoy your Sunday.
Go Cavs.